Live from the MultiGP headquarters, this is MultiGP News.
This week on MultiGP News, several regional qualifiers coming to an end last weekend. MultiGP News with a full breakdown plus the top pilots heading to the finals.
Then, it's a city well known for their steaming hot bowls of clam chowder, and it's also the home of our featured chapter of the week.
Then he's only 16 years old, but he can shred the sky like no other. We'll introduce you to freestyle pilot Ethan Gulnac, who shows us how he mastered his solid skills on the sticks. What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Thomas.
And I'm Frank Realize Manage. All this and much more coming up.
Welcome back to our Sunday edition of the MultiGP News. Let's begin with our 2017 Regional Series update. Another busy weekend packed with several races from coast to coast.
Washington State, Oregon, New Jersey, and Georgia all holding qualifiers this last week. MultiGP News takes us there to look back at the action.
What a special Father's Day weekend it was for the drone racing community after 5 chapters hosted qualifiers in their region last week. In the Pacific Northwest, SOFPV kicked off their Father's Day Palooza with 22 pilots battling it out for their chance to advance to the 5A regional finals.
That guy.
Father's Day was extra special for Tyler Shifty FPV, whose 15-year-old son Asher was a huge help to him the entire race. The track, over 1,600 feet end-to-end, which included a pond, a two-way tower, a 360 fireman's pole turn, a greenhouse pass-through, including a semi-trailer at the end, making a very sharp 90-degree turn left towards the start-finish line. There was also a fun gap challenge through a tire with a huge Mr. Steel mustache on it. After an intense day of competition and several heats later, 3 pilots earned their way to the finals. Coming in third was Brian Bone FPV, who passed his qualifier off to Aaron ATA. Derek Derek FPV coming in second, and the #1 spot going to Damien Oliver. Now moving up north, diehard drone racers hosting their 5A qualifier, with some traveling as far as Idaho and others driving over 8 hours to race. 38 pilots with the youngest only 12 years of age were put to the test after Mother Nature brought some unexpected challenges during the race. Heavy rain making it tough for pilots to complete all the rounds, some even faced with equipment issues due to the intense downpour. After a tough streak of racing, 6 pilots defeated 32 others, moving on to the finals. Those who qualified were Daniel Absolute Mayhem, Mike Mad Mike FPV, Bob Neuro, Tyler Wilby, Isaac Davis, and Michael Sparky MJ, who recently graduated high school and plans to attend Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for a UAV degree in the fall. He also recently clocked in at 102 miles per hour with a radar gun. And heading east to the Garden State, Safety Third Racing setting up their 1A qualifier with up to 35 pilots prepping up to race. Some traveling as far as Connecticut all the way up to Maryland. The Gecko Viking FPV and Jason J. Hubby, some of the young guns competing at the race, with all 3 under 18 years of age. The event running smooth with no video or technical issues and 0 disputes. Approximately 5 pilots were racing per round and 7 heats were completed. After an ESC fire and an amazing track with a mind-blowing dive gate, 5 pilots advanced to the finals. Those who qualified were Farnam Freshness, Ira Rombot, Arthur Bluetooth XP, William Bilster, and Kevin Fine FPV, who completed the max total laps in the race. Taking the action down south to the Cajun Heartland, Academia FPV kicking off their 4B qualifier in Louisiana. Pilots battling it out in the scorching heat for a chance to earn their ticket to the regional finals. The top 3 spots going to Matthew Honeybadger for 3rd, Wes R.R.U. Reddy in 2nd, and Corey C-Train taking the top spot in the race. The best 3 out of 5 rounds sending these 9 pilots to the finals. Matthew Honeybadger, James Mule, Kane Mad Air, Josh Burnout, Jim FX, Hank Yank Hates, Ross Ballsy FPV, Richard Mr. Dick FPV, Weston the Drizzle, and Mike Diesel FPV. And finally, South Atlanta FPV hosting their 2A regional qualifier in the Peach State. 24 pilots from Alabama, South Carolina, and Georgia competing for the 5 spots that would advance them to the finals. The track was a pilot's track, generally fast, but with some deceptively tricky technical sections. After 5 rounds of racing, 2 pilots qualified outright: Blake Martin and Andrew It's Drone Time. Tyler Teamed FPV also making his mark as one of the most consistent and one of the fastest pilots at the race. After a great spirit of friendly competition throughout the day, 5 qualifiers making it to the finals. And those qualifiers are Blake Martin, Andrew It's Drone Time, Robbie Robs, John Cyclone FPV, and Josh Even Barbecue. Congratulations to all the winners who earned their way to the regional finals.
And we're still waiting to see if anyone will break the 6-lap mark on the regional finals track. We'll be following Sela FPV and FPV Racing Seattle in the coming weeks. Both chapters are set to hold their regional finals on July 15th and 16th. Good luck to all the pilots competing in those regions. And we've got much more heading your way, including a segment where we introduce you to MultiGP chapters around the country. Our featured chapter of the week coming up.
Plus, he's young, fast, and has incredible control on the sticks. We'll meet a young freestyle pilot from Hawaii who can rip it up like you wouldn't believe. Stick around. We've got a new segment here where we showcase fellow MultiGP chapters around the country.
Last week, we met Sela FPV from New Orleans. This week, we'll introduce you to the organizers from Boston Multirotor Club, a Tier 1 chapter from Massachusetts. MultiGP News has their story.
We're taking you to a city famous for their hot bowls of clam chowder and wicked accents. It's also the home of our featured chapter of the week. Meet chapter organizer Thomas Buckley from the Boston Multirotor Club.
I'm the chapter organizer for BMRC. I saw the flight test video with Chris Thomas talking about MultiGP, and I said, hey, let's go on there and see if I can find a chapter near me. And I couldn't. And I said, well, kind of have some skills in organization, so why don't I give it a shot?
With over 100 pilots in their chapter, running a race efficiently is not always easy, but Thomas has his own method.
Our very first event, our big issue is figuring out frequency management. And over time that gets better, okay, then you move on to something else. Then it comes down to, the scoring format and recording that on paper. And then it comes down to, okay, let's design courses that are better and better. And then you start thinking, oh, do we want to get a timing system? And, basically slowly add more and more stuff to your, tool set of how you can run events. It really doesn't take much. I think you just need access to the website to do the frequency management and signups. And, megaphone helps. You can yell at your pilots and get into line, stuff like that. But yeah, really it's just, failing and looking at where you failed and trying to improve upon that. First start of the chapter, we were getting 10 new members every month. So at the latest count, I think our MultiGP chapter is above 100 and our Facebook group is over 300. And I'd have to say it's because of the people that's been so successful and grown as much as it has. We have a very good group of people that are smart and helpful and want to volunteer.
The chapter was created 2 years ago. Their official race happened in September of that year.
And had just 10 random internet strangers show up. And we had a decent-sized field with 4 gates that we made optional, and we're just running it in an oval. It's very, very basic. Come a long way since then.
And how does this organizer get help breaking down a track after a race?
Well, the trick I did at New England Championship was to say that I may or may not give extra tickets to whoever gives me the most number of cones, the white cones on the ground, which are a pain to pick up.
Running a race and attempting to fly is more challenging than it looks, but Thomas says, keep it simple.
So when I run events, I typically do try to fly in them, unless they're a big serious one, like qualifiers or regional final that's coming up, but obviously I'll just be running that versus participating. It's just too much to do at once. But yeah, asking for volunteers, getting other people to learn about the timing system and how to run events is very helpful.
And what changes would this chapter organizer recommend to be beneficial to the organization?
The website, I think a lot of people have talked about that. But one recommendation that I've heard other organizers make that I agree is a very good idea is getting event payments through the website itself so that people can sign up for the race and register all in the same website. Another thing that I've heard from other chapters that can be kind of frustrating is the speed of communication. So, chapter organizers look at that as kind of a reward they get for putting in all this effort.
So what advice does Thomas have for fellow organizers just starting out?
Keep it simple, as basic as you can. Worry about timing and live stream and all that stuff for much, much later. Just work on having good video for your pilots, events that run smoothly and efficiently, and then slowly add on over time. And then also to work with people in your area to start up more chapters.
If you would like your chapter featured in an upcoming episode, email us at news@multigp.com. Now, we've all heard the saying, practice makes perfect, whether it's music, public speaking, or in this case, flying FPV or doing the news.
We'll introduce you to a 16-year-old freestyle pilot, Ethan Gulnac, who shows us how hard he works, and it really does pay off.
Many know him as High Flight FPV, but 16-year-old Ethan Gulnac is well on his way to becoming a household name in FPV.
I've been flying for a couple years now, probably 14 or 15-ish.
He's a part of the Maui FPV drone racing chapter and considers himself both a racer and an FPV pilot.
Yeah, I was just at a race, at a MultiGP race here. It's kind of a newer group, but yeah, it was this morning. We had about, I think, around 10 guys there. It was pretty good. I've been racing more just with with the Maui guys here. I really like it. I mean, I'm not the best at racing. I'm not super fast either or anything, but I think it's fun. I wouldn't do it full time, I don't think, just because I really like freestyle, but I don't know, I think both of them kind of have they're both fun in their own way. They kind of have their own different sides of things.
Flying FPV is a way for Ethan to fine-tune his skills as well as a way to relax after finals.
I don't know, I love what I do, and it's kind of an escape from all the stress from school sometimes. We had finals week just last week, or actually this week, I guess. But yeah, I got every day after finals, I'd go fly, and it's a nice escape from everything.
Living in Maui allows this FPV pilot to fly in paradise.
Freestyle, I kind of like just doing it alone, just because I can really get into the freestyle vibes, I guess, get the flow going and everything. But I mean, I still really like flying with other people. There's a few guys that I'll go with. We kind of go to new locations, scout them out, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's mostly just on my own on the way home from school or something like that.
With a good amount of followers on YouTube, Ethan's freestyle videos have become pretty popular among the community.
And then I try to post what I can to YouTube, but you probably noticed it's not a whole lot. I haven't really had time to do it, but over summer I'm definitely going to start doing it again.
This young pilot may not see himself flying FPV as a career, but he does see a big future in the sport.
Well, I'd love to do it as a career, if that's an option. Right now I'm not planning on doing it as a career, just because I want to have a stable career in the future. But definitely I see it seems to be progressing, with the new leagues out there, and they're doing professional races and stuff like that, and the big prize money that people are winning. I'm just not sure if I'd want to take that risk of having to rely on the winnings from a race or something like that.
If you have a story and would like to let us know, please email us at news@multigp.com.
Coming up, a compilation of gnarly head-on quad collisions in our Crash of the Week.
Stick around, because you don't want to miss them.
Welcome back, everyone. We want to thank all of you who have been submitting your clips to be featured on our Crash of the Week. I love this part, my favorite part.
Yes, because the show's almost over, right?
Yep, have to go home.
This week, we'll watch a compilation of crash videos that will have you at the edge of your seat. Roll it.
Those were some amazing videos sent in by our viewers. There were some pretty painful crashes in there. Now, if you would like your crash featured on an upcoming episode, email your videos to news@multigp.com. And, you know, I really hope to see a quad actually explode in one of the crashes. So send that video in to us.
Yeah, enough of the little fire that we can't really see. We want to see some big time explosions. So let's see that.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of MultiGP News. Remember, we're giving away a new Cinemizer every week this month, so enter our photo contest today for your next big win. Log on to multigp.com for complete details and entry dates. Also, don't forget to catch our show Saturday and Sundays on our MultiGP YouTube channel. And by the way, you guys might not know this, but behind the scenes, the person who messes up the least wins. And I've won 14 times in a row.
He's just better at everything, what can I say? So that's why he's the race director.
Go-karts and news.
I'm still a better pilot. And finally, we're aiming to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the little bell icon so you'll never miss an update from us. Thanks for watching. I'm Frank Maynard.
And I'm Chris Thomas. Thanks for joining us. I win.
If you like this video, press the like button below, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in being showcased in the next episode of MultiGP News, please contact us at news@multigp.com.